Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to talk about 7 reasons why you need to let go of your personal history. Now, all of us have had experiences in our life that are good and bad. But what happens to most of us is that we carry on piling up all the bad experiences. And this is the reason why we have a lot of baggage. So imagine yourself to be a boat and all of the experiences that you have collected so far are the stones. Now, every time you add on a big pile of stones to your boat, what's going to happen? It's going to sink further into the water, and maybe after a while, it would not be able to take on the weight of the stones and it's going to crack somewhere. And water is going to seep in, and this is exactly how your life is looking right now. You have too much of baggage that you cannot let go because you have a tendency to keep on piling up these bad experiences, and you have a tendency to just keep on remembering whatever bad things have happened to you. You don't remember the good things. You One thing that is found in everybody unilaterally throughout the human population is that we keep on remembering our past. We keep on remembering these ugly situations. We keep on remembering the people who have hurt us the most, and we are unable to let go of this hurt. And this is the reason why you are unable to live a life that is worth living. So, coming on to the first point, you have created an identity around this individual that the world has created. So it was created by your parents or somebody in your family or your peers or by your colleagues or by your bosses or even by your partners. And this is where you have now latched onto this identity, which is absolutely not true. It doesn't define you, but you have been hanging on to this identity that was created by others, and you are now falling sick. Aren't you falling sick? Somewhere you will notice that you have developed some sort of physical pain, because all of this physical pain is coming in from your emotional pain. So you have to let go of those emotions. If you're going to carry on those emotions, then you must remember what kind of havoc they are creating in your body, because everything is connected. Your mind, body, and emotions and feelings, everything is connected. And if you don't understand that, then just sit for 5 minutes and remember the worst situation of your life, and after 5 minutes, just look at your body, how it's going to feel. It's going to feel miserable. You're going to feel nauseated. You're going to feel as if you have gone cold or you're about to faint. Isn't that true? Your head will hurt and you will find yourself trying to move away from this body of yours, because your body is experiencing the emotional pain that you have gone through. And if you are not smart enough to understand this, then you are going to latch on to a lot of diseases in your life, and probably you're already facing the burnt of that past of yours. How? Because you already are ill. You have some sort of major disease in your life, or you're on onset of a disease because you have let go of the real you. You have no connection with yourself. You simply identify with this individual that was created by others, and this individual doesn't serve any sort of purpose in your life because it doesn't define you. And you know this. You know there is this gap. You understand that gap. You know that this is not you, but at the end of the day, you simply find yourself lacking the courage to really look at the real you. So, how do we go about it? How do we find our real selves? And I'm going to repeat it n number of times because this is the only way you can find yourself, and that is through meditation. If you are unable to sit for 15 minutes, try for 5 minutes. Just sit with yourself, listen to that divine spark within you, because it is always there. It's just that you have been listening to all the dark energy around you. You have been taking in a lot of dark energy from other people who have a lot of unconscious energy around them. They are having a lot of dark negative energy around them, and then they are passing on this energy to you, and you are simply just taking on that energy. You are like a sponge. You've been absorbing all the darkness around you, and then you end up feeling sick. So the first thing is identify yourself, identify who you are. And once you do that, once you sit in stillness, once you start meditating, just apply this process of meditation for 21 days, and you will find yourself moving away from this identity that was created by others. And one more thing that's going to happen to you, you're going to move away from that dark energy, you're going to move away from such people who have no business whatsoever telling you who you are, because they themselves don't know who they are. They are very, very unconscious people. But it's time for you to become conscious. It's time for you to understand who you are, because the day you do that, you're going to let go of that baggage that you've been carrying for so long. And it's time. It's time to let go of that baggage. Aren't you tired of carrying on that baggage from your past? Tell me, how does it serve any sort of purpose in this present life of yours, except creating a lot of pain in your present life? You are having a lot of trouble maintaining relationships, maintaining your finances, maintaining your health. It's showcasing in this life of yours as the most negative thing, but you don't want to let it go because you are so attached to that identity, because that's all you have ever thought about yourself. It's time for you to start changing your thinking. It's time for you to accept who you are, accept how the divine sees you. And it's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be that difficult too. All you have to do is sit for 15 minutes in meditation and just see the difference it's going to make in this life of yours. Second one being that you have a lot of bad memories that you keep going back to. You have this very bad habit of going back to those memories because they get triggered on by people who are still in your life, or by somebody who's absolutely new in your life, and yet they might say something to you, or they might behave in a certain way with you, and then you end up going back to those memories. So I want you to do a very small exercise. I want you to stand in front of a tree that's shedding its leaves. If it's not the season, still stand in front of a tree and look how beautiful and glossy those leaves are. And you know it's got a new pair of leaves. And the same way you can get a new pair of thoughts. It's just that you don't think you're capable of thinking new thoughts or new emotions. So it's time for you to shed those emotions. And the best way to do that is to write down. Whenever someone is triggering you, or whenever you're going back to those old memories, just take a breather and write down. Just start journaling, and you will find yourself just writing the same thing over and over again. And that's going to give you a clue of what needs to change in this life of yours. Third reason why you need to let go of those old memories. So, all of these old memories have created a lot of, I call it, gunk in your life. So, it's a trashy gunk, or you can just call it a lot of garbage in your life. Now, imagine if you stop throwing your garbage every day that you collect in your house. Let's say that you're unable to throw that garbage that you've been collecting in your house. How would your house look? It would look very dirty and smelly, and it would give you a reason to leave that house. Same way, it's time for you to give yourself a reason to leave those memories behind, to forgive those people. Because if you're unable to forgive these people in your life, you will never be able to move on to the good things, move on to really good people. So you have created this fear of meeting new people, or fear of seeing yourself in new light. Every time you look at yourself, you have a vision of yourself that is a shadow of your past, and you have to overcome that shadow of your past. You're no longer your past, you are your present, and that future is even going to look brighter once you start standing on a stable ground in your present. Now, what happens to most people is that they simply keep on collecting a lot of garbage, and it stinks up their life, it stinks up their current relationships, it stinks up everything in their life, from to finances. Everything is stinking up in your life because you're unable to let go of those old memories. Because, as I said in the first point, you're identifying with a identity that was created by somebody else. There are a group of people, or if it was brought on by a person, just forgive them. Not for their sake, forgive them for your own sake, because you cannot live in that garbage pile. You cannot, because otherwise your life is going to stink up. You're going to have so many losses, from relationships to your health to your finances, and you don't want to do that. You want to live a free life, but you've been hoarding these memories. So it's time for you to let go of those memories. It's time for you to create new bridges. And just imagine yourself visually creating these bridges. Imagine that you are building new relationships. Imagine you're building new financial stabilities in your life, or a bridge of good health. Just start imagining good things for yourself, because till now you didn't give yourself a chance to imagine anything good happening in your life. But time has come for you to throw that garbage out of the window and look at your life from a clean slate. So, coming on to the fourth point, you have let go of so many opportunities when it came to improving your finances, or getting into relationship with the right people, because you were scared. You were scared to look at this new you. You were scared to be this new person, because everything is now looking out of control. You have created a habit to be in control, even though nothing is in control right now for you. Yet you feel like, if I take this step, if I go somewhere else, if I do something new, maybe I will not be able to recognize myself. Because, as I said, you've been sitting identifying yourself as somebody that's absolutely not true. So it's time for you to take on new opportunities. It's time. This happens because you think so little of yourself. People have fed this idea to you that you are nobody, you're worthless, you're not capable of achieving great success in your life. And that is why you simply take a step back. When the time comes for you to take 10 steps ahead, you start running in the other direction, because you are unable to fathom the future. You're unable to go the uncertain way. Now, uncertainty is where you are going to flourish, because in that uncertainty lies a new identity for you that's absolutely true for who you are. But you don't want to see yourself going the uncertain route, because if you go through that route, maybe you'll fail. Most probably you'll fail, right? That's what you tell yourself. But just ask yourself, what if you were to flourish on that uncertain route? Maybe, just maybe, is going to give you that little hope, that little ray of sunshine that you need right now in your life, because everything else is looking gloomy. You've tried this way, right? You've tried um, hanging on to that identity, that toxic identity. So let's try looking at ourselves from a new perspective. Let's try looking at life from a new perspective. Let's start saying yes. Little by little, we're going to say yes to new things in our life, yes to new people, yes to new opportunities, and just see how our life is turning out to be. Maybe, just maybe, we're going to find ourselves doing so much better in this life. And that is just giving yourself that 0.009999% chance. That small chance. It's time for you to try on new things, because the old ways are not working out for you. Those old ways have never worked out for you. So why not give yourself a small little chance? The fifth point is that you don't pick up healthy habits. You simply let go of your mental, emotional, physical well being, and you simply look the other way. You go on people pleasing, because it's very difficult for you to create healthy boundaries. It's very difficult for you to start inculcating some healthy habits. And that is the reason why you end up suffering a lot, because you think that if you take on a healthy habit, you're going to hear voices of people who have a lot of opinion about you. Although these voices that you're hearing are from your past, from the people who no longer matter to you, yet you cannot let go of those voices, because you are carrying on the opinion of others on your back for so long that you simply cannot recognize your own voice, that voice of reason. And that is why you are unable to take on healthy habits. You let go of your health very, very fast, because the person looking back at you from that mirror is the person that you have been hating for so long. Because that image that's looking back right at you is the image or perception of that image is coming in from somebody else's point of view. And that is the reason why you simply look at yourself and don't trust ever going through a difficult or a challenging task of creating healthy habits. And that is the reason why you are feeling so much of anxiety and sadness in your life, because you know it's time for you to inculcate healthy habits. It's time for you to inculcate healthy habits. It's time for you to up your game and change your lifestyle and change your life around. But you're always listening on to those voices from your past. Sixth reason why you need to let go of that emotional baggage is because you have no healthy boundaries. You're simply unable to say no to people. And because you're unable to say no to people, people take a lot of advantage of you, and they misuse your time and energy. They simply keep on taking in a lot of stuff from you, let it be finances, let it be your health, in terms of not really looking after your health. Especially all the housewives are doing that. They're cooking a lot of meals and not going for walks, not having any sort of exercise regimen. And that is the reason why you have to let go of that emotional baggage of yours, because unless you do that, what's going to happen is you're simply going to keep on saying yes to people. So you've learned from others, especially people from your past or maybe from your present, who've taught you that you're not a good person unless you keep on saying yes. And they shame you, they blame you, or they've shamed you or blamed you in the past. And that is the reason why you keep on saying yes, because you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to be the person who creates a lot of drama. But you have your opinions. You're a human being. Your value lies in you. If you don't understand that, if you keep on putting another person on a pedestal and telling that person that I value you more than myself, they are going to keep using you, they're going to keep manipulating you, and you'll always find yourself feeling miserable. So it's time for you to let go of that emotional baggage. Don't worry if you end up offending somebody by staying true to who you are, because at the end of the day, you have to learn to be this person that divine has created. This individual, this valuable person must be forthcoming. This person must learn to say no to others now. That is the reason why you are suffering, because you don't identify with this person. You identify as somebody who has to stay in the background, somebody who can never say no, because if you start saying no, you're going to lose a lot of people. So, coming on to the sixth point, the reason why you need to let go of your emotional baggage is because you keep on guilting yourself. You put yourself on a guilt trip, and then you are unable to come down from this trip. It's like you go for a guilt trip vacation for so long. I call these vacation times, although they don't sound like any sort of good vacation, but it happens to you. So let's say you didn't pack your children's tiffin on time, they got late for the school. Now, because you have not set healthy boundaries, they are coming back and saying things to you, and you're feeling that guilt eating you away. Or let's say you are unable to finish up a task on time, and somebody in your office comes and tells you that you are a nobody, you don't know your work well, without knowing if you've had some sort of trouble growing in your personal relationships at home, and that is the reason why you cannot concentrate in your office work. So these are the reasons, or they can be many more, why you keep on guilt trapping yourself. You like that rat who goes and walks by itself into a trap and closes the trap door behind it. That's exactly where you are heading in your life if you keep on guilt trapping. You keep on putting yourself under so much of stress, so much of anxiety, because you feel that you have let down other people. And ask yourself, am I not letting myself down? Who am I? Why am I important to me? That is a question that you need to ask yourself, because if you're not asking these questions, if you're simply just living on your life, trying to jump from one guilt to another, what's going to happen to you is you're going to amass so much of this emotional baggage that you're going to fall sick. You'll end up falling sick. You will end up feeling miserable because the weight of this world is lying on your shoulders. But that's not true. That's absolutely not true. Absolute truth of your life is that you are born alone and you will die alone. And that is something that you must remember whenever you're putting yourself under these guilt traps. Because at the end of the day, you matter to you. It doesn't matter what others are saying about you, it doesn't matter if other people are leaving your life, because you matter to you. And that is something that you have not identified yourself with. You seventh and the most important reason why you need to let go of these emotional baggages is because of the way in which you keep on going back to wrong people. So let's say you are jumping from one relationship to another, or you're jumping from one career to another, and you will find yourself doing this quite often because you have so much of emotional baggage that you're unable to process the feelings that you're feeling. And that is the reason why you keep on choosing wrong partners and wrong careers in your life. And you keep on blaming others. So you don't understand that it is you all along. You have never paid attention to your emotional triggers. You don't understand that there are people who are really, really bad, who are red flags, and yet you end up choosing them. And then you end up crying wolf. You cannot cry wolf here because you have turned a blind eye to your own self. And it's time for you to remove that bandage from your eyes and really look at yourself, look at your choices, look at your decisions. Your decisions are haywire. Those decisions of yours are reflecting upon this life of yours. You can see where your life is going. Your relationships are tanking, your career is tanking, and even your health is tanking now because you feel so much of guilt. So you're, eating too much of junk food, you're drinking too much, you're smoking, you're not sleeping well. Everything is running on a loop for you. Every year is the same year for you. It doesn't matter whether you change your house or you change your relationships or you change your career. That thing is following you everywhere. And if you don't understand that, then it's time for you to wake up and really look at your life and see where your life is headed. Because this way, you're headed for a doom. And if you are not sure which way to go, then take a moment. Take a moment to sit in stillness. Unless you sit in stillness, you'll never be able to find out your own patterns. You have very unhealthy patterns, and you keep on repeating those patterns because you have so much of emotional baggage that you cannot let go. And because you cannot let go of those emotional baggages, it's reflecting in this life of yours. You have very limited time on this planet and you must use it for your own benefit. If you love my vlog, do like, share, and subscribe and comment down below. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.